friends. Let me see, this is maybe a little bright right there. That'll be better. All right, well, hello friends and welcome tonight. We are going to finish up what we started last time working with the spine, and we'll do some gentle movements with that, so it should be a nice relaxing class. And what I want to kind of keep in mind as we go through our practice tonight is that idea of resilience, of a nice tall comfortable posture, sitting up nice and tall. And let's take a moment here to just a couple feet in front of you to rest your gaze. Let the eyelids relax a little bit. And take a moment and check in. Notice what's going on in the body. Maybe feeling where some emotions are bubbling up, or if you're trying really hard to keep them tamped down, where that space is, so that when you have time to revisit them, they can come up and you can let them go. So maybe notice where you're holding on to that tension. Mine right now is in my jaw and kind of in the back of my head because I'm clenching my jaw. So that's where I'm at tonight, maybe a little bit in the wrists. Maybe you are noticing it in your back or the hips or the knees, wherever that is for you. Let's take a couple of breaths into that. Inhale, scoop, exhale, let it go. When you're ready, let eyelids open, and let's start with a little bit of warming up here. So let's start with our cat and cow. So we're talking about the spine again tonight. We're going to do nice and gentle movements. And we're going to do some holding, so then we can then let go. There's a plan in there somewhere, right? All right, so if you are sitting cross-legged and this is uncomfortable, please extend your legs out. Anytime you get uncomfortable in this class or any yoga class, please move. Listen to your body, what it's telling you to do or not to do. So I'm going to sit cross-legged. If sitting on the floor is uncomfortable, you're always welcome to sit up in a chair. And let's start with our cat and cow. Hands in front of the knees if you're cross-legged, or under the thighs if you are having extended legs. So let's start with that exhale. I'm going to round back. On the inhale, rounding forward, looking up. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, coming forward, rounding up, looking up. This is a back bend. It may not look like it, but it's a slight back bend. So we're going to get at least 7 different options for the back here. So we're starting with our forward fold and back bend. And then we're going to come into laterals, side to side, twist, and then the big one is the extension. So we're extending the spine up out of the pelvis, putting length in the body, or in the torso anyway. All right, so then let's come back to that neutral spine. And we'll do some small joints and then come back in and back and forth. All right, small joints. Let's start with the wrist. So extend both arms out, tuck the thumbs, wrap the fingers around, make circles around with the wrist. Mesmerizing there. And then getting into the elbows and the shoulders, making bigger circles maybe. Just noticing what feels good for you. Excellent. So release that, and then let's bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, and figure eights. Very nice. Let's take a moment here and left brain, right brain it. We're going to pull the hands away from each other and then switch fingers on top. And we'll do a couple more figure eights. Excellent. And release that. Let's shake that out. Now we're going to come into our laterals. So typically, I like to use blocks, but books, or you can do blankets, towels, whatever feels right, or do without. I like them because it gives me a little bit more, you can see what I just did there, a little bit more height in the spine. So this left hand is on a block or the floor, and lift this right arm up. Exhale. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale. Very nice. And then let's go inhale, that right arm up. On the exhale, over towards the left. Pushing out the hand to keep that knee from popping. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. Other side, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Other side, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, other side. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. All right, we're going to do that one more time. Now we're going to add a breath in here. This is part of that making space, flexibility, and strength. All right, inhale. Right arm up. Exhale, bring it over to the side. We're going to pause here. Let's bring the breath into that lower right rib cage. Excellent. Inhale, bring that arm up. Exhale, release. Let's do the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Pause here. Bring the breath into that lower left rib cage. Very nice. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, and release. Beautiful. Let's bring the legs out if they're not already, and we'll get some movement in the ankles. All right, so let's start by extending the heels away from the torso. So they're moving out. You can't see what I'm doing, so I'm not really doing much here. But the force is moving away from the torso, sitting up nice and tall. Nice little softness in the knees here, so I'm not hyperextending. If the heels come up off that floor, it means you've got too much of a bend in the knees, or you don't have enough of a bend in the knees, sorry. All right, so that's point and flex. This is your inhale breath, pointing, exhale, flex. Excellent. And then let's do some circles here. You can do both feet at the same time or one at a time. Excellent. And then let's bring the soles of the feet towards each other. And then the tops of the feet. So you can do one movement or both. And this is fabulous for strengthening the ankles. All right, and then to finish this off here, windshield wipers side to side. Welcome to stay out with your legs like this, or if you'd like, you can cross them. And if you can, switch which leg was in front. If you're in it tonight, so I think there's going to be a lot of lag. So I'll try and pay attention, but I can't always see if I'm in certain positions. So I will try and go slow so you don't miss anything. All right, first thing I want to do is come up and then inhale. On the exhale, right hand comes to that left knee, left hand comes behind you. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turning towards the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Let's inhale back to center, and we'll do one more time each side. Exhale, so all the way back behind you. You can take 1 or 2 breaths here. And then on your next inhale, back to center. Beautiful. Let's go to the other side. Inhale. 2 beautiful breaths here. And then on your next, back to center. Beautiful. So that was 6 of our directions. And let's come into some neck and move this with the breath. Start with an inhale. On the exhale, comes down to the chest. Inhale. Inhale, looking up. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale, looking up. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale back to center. Now we're going to go lateral, side to side. So let's take another inhale. On the exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale, center. Let's do one more time each side. You're going to exhale, left ear, left shoulder, and bring this left arm out and over, resting that left hand on the right side of the head. Making space between that right ear and right shoulder. We're not pushing or pulling, just resting. Breathing into any tension in the neck or shoulder. Very nice. And then let's release that left arm. Head comes back to center. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Right arm comes out and over. Resting that right hand on the right side of the head. Breathing into any tension in the neck or shoulder. Head comes back to center. All right, last 2 directions for the neck is our twist. So we're going to use our gaze for this. So we're going to look straight ahead. Inhale. On the exhale, gaze goes around towards the left. Shoulders stay where they are, and the chin comes towards the shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Follow the gaze around towards the right. Shoulder stays where it is. Going just as far as is comfortable. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to left. Let's pause here. And then inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Pause. Inhale back to center. Beautiful. All right, let's come down to the shoulders. So we're just doing shoulder circles here. So you're going to inhale, shoulders come up and forward. Exhale, down and back. Inhale, come up and forward. Exhale, down and back. A couple times on your own. Beautiful. Let's switch directions. So we're gonna inhale back and up, exhale down and forward. Excellent. And a couple more, either direction or simply straight down. Beautiful. All right. So we release that. Do it. I'm going to extend my legs out. If yours are out already, that's fine. You can cross them a different way again. Up in the chair, that's fine. All right. So I usually do this standing up. And if we get to standing up, we'll do it then, but we'll see where it goes from there. All right, so we're gonna start with arms out, and I'm facing my palms back behind me, and I'm gonna drop my chin down. On the inhale, I'm rotating so the thumb comes up towards the ceiling and looking up towards the ceiling. And I'm gonna keep rolling until my thumb is pointing behind me. So you may not be going that far, and that's okay. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. And then on the return, I'm gonna exhale, rolling, and I'm leading with the thumb here till it comes back. And my thumb is gonna keep going as far as comfortable. Inhale, up and open. Looking up, exhale, rounding back. Beautiful. All right, release that. Arms come down. All right, so some of the things that we want to do, besides those 6 directions that we've done, is that axial extension of the spine. Oh, going this way. So we're making space this way. And there's a bunch of different ways to do that. And we did some on the last video. We didn't do as many of the floor things, so we're going to do some more of the floor. Let's see. So the primary intention of that axial extension is to bring the spine into maximum vertical alignment while integrating the spinal curves. So let's do some of that. The first thing that we're going to do is we'll come back to that cross-legged pose. And if you want, and you have one handy, I have it here, just can't reach it, is sitting up on a blanket. So what that does is that gives me a little bit more the knees to come down, and it lifts up the pelvis. So let's just take a couple of breaths here and see if you can feel. If you don't have one handy, you can just sit, and that's totally fine. But feel that space lifting up out of the body. Just take a couple breaths here, allowing for those natural curves, and that's super important. If we flatten it out, instead of having that little bit curve, we're putting pressure on places that don't need that pressure. All right. One more breath here. Excellent. All right, so let's come, and I'm gonna turn sideways here, and we're gonna come into a forward fold. So we've been doing all these directions, so this one is going to be a forward fold. Now, if you have a strap and you want to use it, you can. What I want you to make sure you're not doing is gripping with the hands and pulling with the shoulders. So we want this to be with just a nice, simple forward fold. So we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. We're hinging at the hips, and we're going to fold forward. And let's do this dynamically to start. So tap your fingers down, inhale, coming back up. Exhale, forward fold. Tap the floor, inhale, coming back up. Exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to pause at the bottom and take a breath or two here. When you're ready, extending the arms, inhale to come back up. Exhale and release. All right, so a couple more while we're here. Let's do one leg at a time, and then we'll do a wide-legged forward fold. So we're going to keep this left leg extended, bend the right knee, right foot comes into that right foot comes into that left leg, wherever is comfortable. So it can be up here, it can be closer in to the hip socket. That's fine, wherever it lands. So let's do that same movement and with the dynamic. So we'll inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, tap the floor. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, forward fold. Feel that hinge at the hip. Tap the floor. Inhale, coming back up. On the exhale, we're going to forward fold. And when we get to the bottom, we're just going to pause here and 2 breaths here. So you can cross the wrist over that left shin. And 2 breaths. When you're ready to come out, inhale, arms come up, push in with the leg. And then we're going to exhale and release. Let's switch legs. You can use that hand under the knee. Extend that right leg out. Bending that left knee, left foot comes into that right leg somewhere, wherever comfortable. And 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips, going just as far as is comfortable. Tap the floor. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming up. And one more time. Exhale down. When you get down there, we're going to cross the wrists and release. 2 breaths. And then when you're ready to come out, inhale, push in with that leg, arms come all the way up. Exhale and release. All right, so now release the legs. You can pound them into the mat if that feels good. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So I'm coming off the mat a little bit, so I have a little corner here. All right, so you can go as wide as your mat, wider than your mat, whatever feels good for you. A little softness in the knees. Sorry, that's glaring right in my foot. That's a little better. Okay, regular stance is fine. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinge the hips. Tap the fingers down. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, forward fold. Tap. Go. 3 breaths. When you're ready to come up, we're going to extend the arms. Push in with the legs. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale and release. All right, hands under the knees. You bring the legs back in together. And then let's come into we're going to come on to our hands and knees and come into a child's pose. So if you want, because we're going to come up onto our hands and knees after this, so if you want to get a blanket set up first before you come into your child's pose, that might be a good thing. All right, so I think I'm going to go this way. Actually, Go this way. Okay. How's that? Much better. All right. Okay, so for your child's pose, there are many different ways to come into this. Comfortable, which I know for a lot of people, if you have tight hamstrings or it doesn't feel great on your knees, I would recommend a puppy pose, which is keeping the hips up and then the head comes down. So it's not the best, but it's better than being super uncomfortable. So if you want to come into your version of your child's pose, I have a block. Sometimes it's nice to not be striving to touch the floor or to overdo it in any way. So if you have, you could even roll up a blanket and rest your head on the blanket. Sometimes it's nice just to come in to the gentlest version that you know. So let's take a few breaths here. Wonderful. All right, so the next thing we're going to do before we come up to our hands and knees is we're going to kind of come up a little bit so we can go to both sides of this. So we can get a little bit of extension, but at the side. So kind of combination of lateral and extension. So we're going to come up, unless you're in a puppy pose, then you're just going to walk over with your torso. So if you're down in child's pose, coming over so that you're over your left. So there we go. Microphone there. Okay. So we're going to come over this left knee. So you are probably not going to get your head on the floor, so you can stack your fist or bring that block back. And just notice how it feels different on one side versus being in the center. If you're in your puppy pose, coming over, hips are still up. And we'll take a breath or two here. And then when you're ready, let's walk through center over towards the right. And again, whatever you need to rest your head on. Beautiful. All right, let's come back to center. And we're going to come up onto our hands and knees and find those 6 directions again with the spine. All right, so for our cat and cow, starting in tabletop with a neutral spine, let's start with our exhale. Tucking the chin, rounding the spine. So we've got the top of a circle this way. And then we're going to reverse on our inhale, looking up towards the horizon, if that's comfortable for your neck. So we have the opposite of that circle or wheel. So we have that lower expression. All right, cat and cow a couple times. Excellent. All right, let's do our lateral next. So this left hand's going to stay where it is. Walk that right hand next to it, in front of it, past it, wherever it feels good. We're going to turn and look at that left foot. Now let's breathe into that right rib cage. So we're feeling the strength of the breath. We're feeling the flexibility of those intercostal muscles, the muscles in between the ribs, opening, relaxing, making space for the breath. Beautiful. Walk the right hand back. And then we're going to bring the left hand over, next to, in front of, past, turning and looking at that right foot. Breathing into that left rib cage. Feel that spaciousness. Beautiful. And then let's bring that left hand back. And then let's come into let's do our gate poses today for open twist. We'll do some other twists later. So for our first one, let's see, I'm going to flip around again. This. Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring my right foot out to the side. Left hand is under my shoulder or the wrist. And then on the inhale, I'm going to bring this right hand up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Right hand comes down, tuck that right knee under. Left foot comes out to the side. Right hand, wrist under that right shoulder. Inhale, let's bring this left arm up towards the sky or ceiling. Lovely. Left hand comes down. Tuck that left knee under. And then just for fun tonight, let's do our tall gate pose. So if you have a block and you want to use it, you're welcome to do that. If you don't need it, don't worry about it. All right, so we're going to start with the left side. Left leg comes out to the side. Left hand on that left hip or down that left leg. Let's inhale this right arm up. On the exhale, right hand comes over towards that left foot. Lovely. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, release. Switch to the other side. I'm just going to turn this way a little bit. Right leg comes out to the side, right hand on that right hip or down that right leg. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, left hand towards that right foot. Beautiful. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, release. And tuck that knee back under. Excellent. All right. So now we're going to come down. Actually, let's do, since we did laterals and twists, let's come back to cat and cow, and then we're going to come down onto the belly. So cat and cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. One more. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Excellent. All right, let's come down onto the belly. And we're going to do a few back bends here. So as always, with any type of back bending, only go to your comfort zone. You just want to be very aware of what's going on. So first thing we're going to do is start in our alligator pose. So elbows come out, stack the hands, forehead comes to the top of the back of the hand. It's also called crocodile pose, but I think we have a lot more alligators here than crocodiles, so we're going to call it alligator pose. So we're going to release the knees and the hips, the lower lumbar area, the upper thoracic curve, and the neck. All just release into the earth. One or two more breaths here. Beautiful. All right. Our first pose is going to be baby cobra. So we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders. And what I want you to do, if you don't mind, is imagine that you have kind of like the mother cat grabbing the back of the kitten's head is up off the ground a little bit, hands are under the shoulders. We're going to keep the chin tucked and we're going to lift up from the back of the neck. We're not using the hands at all. We're going to lift only as high as is comfortable. So if you're just a couple inches, that's fine. If you want to go a little higher, that's fine too. Just keep the chin tucked till you get to your maximum here, and a gentle one at that. And then we're going to look forward. Coming back down, tuck the chin first, release, and then back to alligator. Let's do that 2 more times. Hands come under the shoulders. Tuck the chin, lifting from the back of the neck. And then looking forward. Beautiful. Let's do that 1 more time. Hands under the shoulders. Tuck the chin. Inhale, lifting up. Looking forward. On the exhale, tuck the chin back down and release all the way down to alligator pose. All right, I'm going to turn a little bit sideways here because arms can't smack the wall there. Okay, so now we're going to do our Superman. I think, does he fly like this or like this? No, like this. So palms are down, but if you like them facing each other, that's fine too. So we're going to lift up the arms and the legs. And then release back down 2 more times. Lifting up. So this is a strength pose and a back bend. And release. 1 more time. Lifting up. And release. You can rest your head back in alligator pose. And then our last pose here is going to be our bow pose. So there are quite a few levels of this, and you are going to go to your comfortable version of it. So we're going to start by extending that right arm, bend that left knee. First, release, other side, bend that right knee, extend that left arm. Excellent, release. Extend both arms, bend both knees. And release. And then the big reveal, both knees are bent. I'm gonna bring the arms back and around. And then if you can, one at a time, grab the feet or ankles. Take a breath here. If you can't reach the feet, just extend the arms back. If you're ready to come up to the last level, you're going to push the feet into the hands and come up on the belly. Beautiful. And release. 1 more if you got it. And release. Back to alligator pose. When you're ready, take a breath or 2. We're going to come up to our hands and knees. And we're gonna do cat, child's, cat. So we'll do a short round of that. On the exhale, cat, coming down to child's pose. Inhale from the forearms back up to cow. Exhale, cat. Child's, inhale, cow. One more. Excellent. All right. So from here, let's come into a low lunge, and I think we might have time for a Trixie triangle if we are up for that. I think we are. All right, so let's come into our lunge. Did I miss anything? Nope, I think that's good. All right, so for our lunge, if you have blocks and you want to use them, you're welcome to do that. You can do this without blocks, or you could also use a chair as well if you don't want to be all the way down on the floor. All right, so I will be at side angle like this. All right, so come up onto the knees, bring the blocks in front of us. So we have 3 fingers in the front, thumb and pinky are on the side. And the way I like to come up into the lunge is to bring the blocks over to one side and then swing that leg up and around. If you want, you can just come straight up, that's fine, but sometimes it's nice to have that space. All right, so we want to make sure we're not on that kneecap funny on that left leg. So once you get that right leg up, we're going to bring both blocks on either side. First thing we want to do is, because we're doing a back bend here, is we want to bring the hips down towards the floor. So you can stay on the blocks. That was just to kind of show you what I was up to. And then come back to neutral. And let's bring hands up onto the knee. And then from here, we're going to bring the arms up overhead. So this is, depending on how far your arms want to go, will deepen your back bend. Beautiful. Hands come back down. And then let's bring that knee back down. We'll switch to that other leg. And we're going to start by bringing the pelvis down towards the floor. So we're going down this way. Excellent. Hips come back up. Hand can come up to that left knee. And then arms up. And depending on how deep you want your back bend, arms come back further. Beautiful. Hands come back down to your knee. Hands come down to your block. And then we're going to go back to that first leg again and come up into our triangle. So bringing this right foot up in front. And it usually, when I come up into a triangle from the floor, I have my foot out a little bit further than my blocks. But feel free to adjust as necessary. All right, curling the toes of that left foot. On the inhale, we're going to lift the hips up and then pivot that left heel down to the floor. And you can stay right here. That's plenty fine. But what I want you to do, whether or not you stay here or go up, is extend through the crown of the head. Feel that length. And then from here, if you want, you can bring this left arm up towards the ceiling. And we have a triangle from the floor. Beautiful. Left hand comes down. Pivot that back foot, come down to the knee. And then that right knee comes down. And let's go up the other side. Left foot comes up. And again, you can see I have my foot further than the blocks. We're going to curl the toes of that right foot. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift the hips up. That front knee is mostly straight, little softness. And then we're going to pivot that back foot so that heel comes down to the floor. You can stay right here and extend the torso, a nice long spine. If you want to, come up. We're going to bring this right arm up towards the ceiling. We have a beautiful triangle from the floor. Excellent. We'll bring that right hand down. Pivot that back foot coming down to the knee. And then let's bring that left knee down. And we're going to come into, we'll sit in hero's pose for a moment if you're comfortable doing that. If not, come and sit down on one side or the other, and we'll do a twist or two here. So sitting up nice and tall. If you're in your hero's pose, we did this, what video did we do that? Don't remember which video we did that for. Did it twice. All right, when you're ready, then we'll come and sit so we can do some twists. All right. So here's what I want to start with. My hips are, or my legs are hip width distance apart. If that's comfortable for you, that's great. They can be wider or closer, whatever you want to do. I'm going to bend my right knee, right foot into the mat or floor. And then from here, a couple of options. You can stay right here. You can cross over or cross under and cross over. All right, so I'm picking A. You can pick B or C. All right, let's go. Inhale, left arm comes up. On the exhale, you can come on the outside of that right leg or around in front. I like around in front, it's a little bit more room. I lift up. We're going to pull the belly button in towards the spine. Right hand comes behind me, and watch this. Push in with the floor to lengthen the spine. So we're twisting and lengthening. Exhale, looking around behind you. Inhale back to center. And let's do an open twist from here. So I'm going to take my right hand on my right knee and open with my left hand behind. Gaze goes behind. So I'm pulling on the knee and pushing into the hand at the same time. Excellent. Back to center. Let's do the opposite of that. Extend that right leg out, bend the left knee, or that's A. B, cross the foot over. C, cross under and then cross over. All right. I'm again going with A. Your choice what you want to do. Inhale, right arm comes up. On the exhale, on the outside of that left knee or around in front. Left hand comes behind and ready, watch. Lift up out of the spine. On the exhale, chin comes around towards that left shoulder. Beautiful. Let's do the open twist. That's the closed one. Left hand on that left knee. Right arm comes around. Push in. Head comes around towards that right shoulder. Left knee is pushing into that left hand. Beautiful. And back to center. All right. From here, we're going to come down to the floor. Hands on the knees. Rolling onto the back. And let's do a couple of Apanasanas. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, release. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, release. Or if you like the hands, exhale up. Inhale down. One more. Excellent. All right, so we're going to do a twist, and then we'll do our Apanasana again. All right, so I'm going to do cactus arms because I don't have a lot of space for extended arms. But you can extend your arms out to the side, however that works for you. Warming up a little bit as we kind of cool down here because we're going to do this gently So the feet can be hip-width distance apart, knees can come together, and then the knees stay close as you bring them to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left side. So we're rolling out the back of the pelvis. If this doesn't feel good anywhere, then smaller movements or keep the knees just to the center. So you can go a little further if that's okay with everything in your body. If it doesn't feel good, come back. And then next time you come to center, we'll pause there and we'll go a little deeper with this. So I'm going to cross my right leg over the left. And then I'm going to, on the exhale, bring both knees over towards the left. Inhale, bring them back to center. And again, I'm not going very far. And then we're going to bring both knees over towards the right. So in theory, maybe you can bring them all the way to the floor. I'm just going a couple of inches as we are being gentle with the body. Back to center, and then we're going to uncross, recross the opposite. So the left leg comes over the right. Let's bring both knees over towards the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, over towards the right. Again, going just as far as is comfortable, or maybe not even that far. Inhale, bring it back. Let's uncross, and then back to Appanasanas. Exhale, hands slide up. Inhale, down, or hands on the knees, as long as you're not gripping with the hands or the shoulders. And you can also bring the knees out a little bit wider. That might give you more space on that lower spine and the back of the neck. Again, leaving those natural curves in. We don't want to flatten them out. From here, we're going to do one more. Inhale, arms up overhead, feet towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to knees. Inhale, L. Exhale, O. And one more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Couple of Appanasanas to come back to symmetrical. Feet come down to the mat and then extend them all the way straight out. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, bring them back down by your sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms back. One more time. And then just the wrist here. So we're going to inhale, lift the thumb up, rolling over the pinky, palms face up. Exhale, roll back, palms face down. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Last one, inhale. And exhale. And now, coming into your relaxation pose, finding whatever you need to be comfortable. Something under the knees would be my recommendation for tonight. If you have a big pillow or even a small blanket might feel good, rolled up. And let's go from the bottom of the feet all the way up to the top of the head and relax. Let's start with the toes. Relax the toes. Relax the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet and the heels. Release the ankles. Relax the calves and shins. Release the knees. Relax the tops of the thighs and the backs of the thighs. And that space behind the knees. Let the pelvis be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the abdomen. Release the rib cage and let go of breath. Relax the whole spine from the tip of the tailbone all the way to the base of the skull. Let the shoulders be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the upper arms, elbows, and lower arms. Release the wrists. Relax the hands, fingers, and palms. Relax the throat and the back of the neck. Release the jaw. Let the tongue be heavy and fall away from the roof of the mouth. Let the eyes be heavy and fall to the back of the head. Smooth the forehead and face. Let any last thought seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe you. Take the next few moments and just be. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Otherwise, when you're ready to come back, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, rolling over onto your right or left side. When you're ready, and again with an inhale, using your upper arm to push up to a comfortable seated position. And to bring breath back into the body and find us safely on our way. Let's finish with our lotus breath. So pinky and thumb together. Inhale, fingers open. Exhale, closed. 4 times. Ready? Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And before you go, I want to give you a mudra for, this is called Dharma Pravartana Mudra, the gesture of setting Dharma in motion. And what this does is help balance all 5 elements. So we bring all the fingertips together, fingers together, and then the sides of the thumbs come together. So it kind of looks like you're sheltering the thumbs. And then it comes right in front of the solar plexus. And my little saying here says, attend to all of the elements' essential qualities. I experience complete integration of mind and body. There's one more thing I wanted to read about this. Oh, here it is. So this is balancing the 5 elements and instilling a sense of integration and harmony at all levels of being as the foundation of health and healing. So in these times, we need all the health and healing we can get, right? And with that, I wish you namaste. And thank you for joining me. See you next time.